We are live. Let's see. I just want to make sure. I don't know. Twitter's been a bit weird, but it seems like it's working fine now. Okay, cool. I did a stream a couple of days ago and it wasn't working on Twitter, but yeah, it's working fine. Oh, it looks like people are joining in. So welcome everyone. How's it going? I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Today I'm joined by my two amazing friends, Nomad and Kevin. Today we're going to talk about all things Berachain again. Surprise, surprise. What else would we talk about here? We're going to go over some of the different forums that are currently available where people can discuss some of the different strategies for proof of liquidity. As you know, this is opening up for ecosystem applications. And we're going to go through some of the different reward vault requests, see if there's any alpha that we can find together. We'll talk a little bit about BGT and POL and some of the different strategies as well. And I've got my two expert guests joining me as well. So yeah, how's it going, Nomad? How's it going, Kevin? Nice to have you back on the stream.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Just stuck at the office, and Waj asked me to come onto the stream. I thought, why not? Always a good time with Waj. Nomad, I'll let you speak.
Yeah, same. Excited to do this. I actually haven't had time to go through most of these proposals, so interesting to do it on stream.
Yeah, that's kind of why I thought we'd maybe just do it together anyway. I thought we were probably going to chat about it like on Telegram or something between us, but maybe we can just do it with everyone listening as well. So maybe we can share some alpha with them. So first of all, anyone have any insight on the exact time frame that we're looking at? As far as I'm aware, I think we're very, very close. I think we're probably looking at maybe next week for some of the ecosystem vaults to go live. Is that kind of something similar to what you guys have heard as well? And are you anticipating it maybe a bit earlier or a bit later?
I think that's basically what I've been sort of hearing. I think Hom was on a live stream the other day and was saying something about like next week, right? So I'd say that's pretty reliable.
Yeah. Next week. Okay, fine. Sounds good. And I guess Nomad as well, like, what are your initial thoughts about everything that you can think of when it comes to what you're going to do for next week? Like if we see the first reward vaults go live, do you have anything in mind at the moment in terms of how you're going to play it or what you're expecting or anything you're anticipating?
Yeah, so I guess this thing that we're doing right now is going to give us all that info. So the main strat would be to go for low market cap tokens with high bribes, because that way you can kind of estimate how much BGT is going to flow into those assets. And because of low market caps, you can't really get diluted past a certain point, right? Right now, Berachain has like 900 million in liquidity, so all BGT is being diluted by that. But as it moves to other assets, dilution will be way, way smaller. So buy early, stake early, and then as people join in, there's going to be positive price action on all of those assets. So yeah, it's actually very good that we're doing this right now.
Good. Awesome. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be very interesting. And for the 200 or so people that are already tuning in, how's it going? I see some comments coming in already. We've got Anshare, Magic Jammer, and Berachain, who looks like he's got a personal comment to you, Kevin, about your haircut.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Nice haircut. Nice trim. It's looking good. Right, let's have a look at the first kind of stuff that we can find on this page. You can see that I've clicked on a few of them already, so I've kind of skimmed through some of them. But any specific reward vaults that we should look at first? And there's a lot from Kodiak here. I know Berachain has definitely been busy. You can see his PFP in a lot of them over here. But any specific ones that we should look at? Obviously, the main ones I'd like to go through being like Infrared, Kodiak, maybe Barodrome, and some of the other ones as well. But do you guys have any preferences?
More specifically, but given how much I've shilled the IBGT trade, I bet everyone's probably waiting for that.
Okay, let's start there. Looks like you've got a few more comments about your haircut as well. Rodman also says the same thing. Ansh also as well.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the support. I appreciate it.
All right. Let me find Infrared's vaults then. So here we go. IBGT, Bera IBGT. I don't think this is from Infrared actually, but let's just have a look at it anyway. This is Bera IBGT from Bullet Exchange actually, who have a V4 DEX, which I've played around with. It's actually been pretty good. So it looks like they want to incentivize that specific pool Bera IBGT, but I guess the juicy part is what are they going to offer? Let's have a look. Tell me if you guys can spot it. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
I think you can always just Command F allocate, and then it will always come up.
Oh yeah, fine. So they allocate 30% of weekly fees every week indefinitely as bribes to the validator. That $7,000 to $8,000 per week. I don't know how much that is in the grand scheme. It seems fairly low, actually, if you consider the TVL being 500K right now. Not that strong, I guess. Or is it? Well, this is per week though, I guess. Right. Let me do some quick maths. 8,000. Okay. Actually, it is a fair amount. If this is per week, then yearly we're talking about 400K, and right now I think the TVL is 400K. So 100% APR in these tokens.
No, what I like
It's gonna be more.
Yeah, what I really like about this proposal is actually they specify that they're allocating it every week, right? Whereas like different proposals, they've said we'll allocate it across a time span of from 0 days to like maybe across 1 year or 2 years. This one, like for sure, like there's a specific amount that's going to be allocated per week. But the only downside of that is that I guess you can't really predict fees. Whereas compared to so it's kind of like a dynamic, right? Whereas like the other ones, such as like the infrared proposals for their iBera and IBGT vaults, is kind of like, hey, we're going to put like 1.5 mil of like iBera, but that's going to be iBera or USD, I forgot what it is, but that's going to be across like a year. This one is like, hey, it's every week. So I really like this one. I like how the proposal is structured with clarity there.
Yeah, it looks like also they're using fees that they're generating as well, rather than like any extra token incentive or RFA or anything like that, which is sustainable, I guess. Yeah, I didn't see not anything else that I can see on here. Yeah. Ooga Booga's mentioned here, which is nice, but yeah, that's it, I think.
Where's Ooga Booga mentioned? Really?
Yeah, they said I didn't read it properly. I just saw Ooga Booga mentioned. Ooga, where is it? Ooga Booga has let us know that they plan on listing high yield products on their front end. Oh, I don't know. I mean, you should know this.
Maybe it was someone else from my team, or maybe I did. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Where's IBGT? Let's find IBGT. Let's find a different one. Here we go. Infrared. This is from Raito and Red. Kodiak, Bera, IBGT, Island Pool. Okay, so that's a 0.3% fee tier Island Pool. Let's have a look. Did they say what they're going to offer? Okay, so they are going to offer 150,000 Bera and iBera. So I guess this is what you were referring to before, Kevin. It didn't actually mention over what time period are we talking? Are we talking 3 months, 1 year? Like how long are we talking? Indefinite? What do you guys think about this? Oh, 150,000 Bera and iBera is a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest concern, right? Like, I mean, like I posted one of my sort of like IBGT thesis posts on X, but the biggest sort of feedback on that was, what is the emission rate? Like, if there's no, like, if we don't know the emission rate of specifically the bribes, then it's kind of like meaningless throughout like the entirety of it, right? It could be like 1 Bera every week, or it could be 100,000 Bera every week, which is obviously drastically different. So that's like the sort of like gamble,
But the thing is here is like you only really need to compete with others, right? So as long as your protocol is bidding more than the others, you're going to receive the largest chunk of BGT. Because we're kind of in an enclosed system where validators are going to be chasing the highest bids, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
As long as you're bidding at least 1 cent more than your competition, then the validator technically should go to you, unless there's other things in play. But long-term validators are probably going to just use algorithms to adjust to the higher bribe rate. So yeah, even $1 more than the competition should be enough to guarantee you a larger chunk of incentives. And since no one is going to be bribing the Berachain pools right now, even $1 in incentives could translate into a lot more in BGT to your assets. So that's what's going to be cool.
So is this one question? Is this 150,000 Bera and 150,000 Bera iBera, aka $900,000 worth of each asset, almost $2 million in total? I don't think that's very clear here.
I think it's yeah, that's I agree here. I would have assumed it would have been 150,000 of a mix between Bear and iBear, given 1-to-1. But I think what Nomad said about sort of what his point encompassed was that the BGT emissions that would come on every is basically emitted is at a stable rate, right? So everyone's just competing for the same amount of BGT emissions, and if there's no one bribing, then technically you can compete with less and still earn more. But welcome Batik, welcome Rodman, how are you guys?
Good. You guys should look at the Bera ETH pool on Kodiak.
Okay.
I saw your comment. You said you're going to allocate $100 trillion over the course of humanity.
Hey guys, was that fact?
I'm going to take that as factual.
That's factual. That must be factual.
All right, let's have a look at it then. Bera ETH, right?
Yeah, it should be WEF Bera, I think. WEF W Bera.
Okay.
In terms
of the
of
Dinero one.
Oh no. This is like equivalent to there's a similar this island already exists on Kodiak, and it also exists as a pair on Bereswap. And our plan is to kind of attract a lot of the liquidity over from Bereswap to here. And right now it's full range, but we plan on tightening roughly like whatever the current price once the reward vault goes live. Current price plus 4x the current price, and then current price minus 1/4 or like minus 4x, so like 1/4 to 4x of the current price as a range. So it's still relatively full range, but it's much tighter, and it means that you get higher capital efficiency, roughly 2x the efficiency of a full range pool. And it's not too tight where users suffer from too much IL.
Interesting. Why did you pick specifically? Why did you want to take this specific pool, like WETH Bera?
Yeah. So we proposed 3 personally. Like the general rule is like if you have a pool, if you have an island or pool on Kodiak, but like there's a team behind it, it's their responsibility. But for us, like there are no teams behind the major pool, so we had to propose these 3 ourselves. And for WEF Bera specifically, there's a lot of WEF Honey and WEF Bera like volume on Berachain amongst the 3 major pools. So this is something that like worth highlighting. This is the moneymaker on Berachain right now.
Well, and what's up, guys? But not even just Berachain, but if you look across like really any EVM chain. And I mean, even Solana too, and non-EVM chains, right? Like ETH and Bitcoin are the most highly traded assets. So, like, of course, us at Kodiak would want that.
Yeah, and then if you scroll down to the allocation, we have like we're more specific than others.
This bit Beratic or another part? Yes. 5,000 Bera per week for the first 6 months. And additionally, until Kodiak's TGE, 50% of this specific island's trading fees in Bera that is allocated for the Kodiak treasury will be redirected as incentive for this reward vault. That's pretty juicy.
Yeah. So the hope, like the reason it's up to, it's like we're leaning towards like the upper end, like the initial month. It's just that like up to meaning if the trading fees are generating a couple thousand Bera, like we can subsidize less from the treasury or the RFA upfront. But we wanted to guarantee that in the beginning there is a steady stream of rewards, and that's on the Bera side. And then there's because this is a 2 pool, or like it's a liquidity pool. We also have another incentive token, which is WEF itself. So similar to like the 50% of the trading fees that the Treasury is currently collecting, were or like is being directed as WEF back as bribes.
Pretty nice, pretty nice. I guess what 5,000 bearer per week. If you take $6, annualize that, or multiply that by 6 months, that's at current prices 700k, 720k. So that's some pretty good incentives. I mean, I would expect you to get some pretty good TVL from that. Actually, some pretty strong TVL. So yeah, that's pretty nice. I thought I'd
I mean,
also.
honestly, there, Kodiak has the chance to completely empty Bear Hub. It's gonna be the only incentivized thing, so they're probably gonna take a lot of TVL from Bear Hub. Plus,
Yeah.
it's also more efficient in Kodiak, so why not? Better for users as well.
Is there any advantage to positioning in this vault a little bit early? For that first maybe few days, maybe the APRs are a little bit higher, whilst the BGTs like kind of in that first few day period.
Yeah, because I think a lot of users, like, there are users that aren't checking on chain every day or like through comms, and they'll just be stuck either on the bear swap, like stuck on bear swap, or just like late to enter. So I think the first, like, especially the first day, or I think the first week, you have an advantage where the market tries to like realize what's going on and become more efficient. I think we saw that like early first week of Berachain in general. Like, I think Kevin pointed out a lot of trades where there's a lot of inefficiency, and I think that's so there's definitely an advantage of being early.
How do you view the 7-day ramp then, Patrick?
The 7-day ramp, like for the new reward vaults, or the original like set of 5?
New reward vaults.
But the bribes are. It really depends. Like the ramp up is in terms of BGT, not in terms of bribes. So if you're earning the BGT at a lower rate, but you are delegating the BGT back to specific validators, then you're assuming that other teams aren't also ramping up their bribes accordingly, then you still have an advantage.
Nice. Any other ones, Rodman and Beratic, that we should look at from Kodiak, seeing as though we have you on now?
Let's see.
So we have from Kodiak, we have basically wrapped BTC bearer, wrapped ETH wrapped bearer, and then wrapped bearer honey. Essentially the main ones are on Bearer Hub right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, it should be relatively the same, right, Bertic? For those other pairs as well. Maybe.
Bera Honey is actually incentivized higher. This was all like how we calculated was like we looked at the TVL on Bera Swap. Bera Honey has the most amount of TVL compared to these other two pools. So we, in order to capture a larger share, we also need to bribe more.
So instead of 5,000, you're going with 7,500 bearer per week.
Yep.
Okay, nice. And I noticed that other than those 3, there are a ton of other Kodiak pools that are listed here. Any that are your favorite?
I think if you're just long Bera, you might as well go into the 2 infrared vaults, because then you're like pretty delta neutral in terms of Bera, and you're earning a lot of fees. And then I think, as Kevin mentioned, like the iBera trade could be a very lucrative trade. Like, let's say iBera, like I haven't checked in a day or so, but it's like 90 cents to $1, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Let's assume like POL goes live. There's a lot. It's a lot of bribes going towards it. A lot of BGT emissions going towards the liquidity providers. It should repeg, or hopefully repeg. Then you buying iBera now, and in preparation for this specific reward vault, is like you're getting 10%. So, and that annualized within, like, let's say within a month it repegs, it's 120%. And I think that's better. Like, I don't know where else right now you can get. I think Dolomite right now has has been great in terms of like single-sided, like isolated bear exposure and getting yield. I think it's still like 30%, but I don't think you can beat like 10% in a month.
One other question I have for you guys is, do you know what the split of these rewards are? Like the 150,000 bearer and iBearer. Do you know what the split is? Is it 50-50 of each asset, or is it something different?
Can you scroll?
Shall I zoom in a little bit?
Okay.
This bit.
We'll have to check. We'll have to check with them. But if we're looking at the syntax, it says and iBearer, so maybe it's each, and then we'll hold them to it, and Berachain can sue them.
Yeah, I wonder as well if they're offering so much in iBearer as well. I mean, aren't those rewards just going to get sold off? And so will it not? It won't necessarily help with peg, will it? It'll kind of maybe just remain where it is.
Yeah, the depends. Like I think they're working with like BFI or BFE and like others where the auto compound. Like, well, if you're auto compounding the positions, or I guess the bribes are different. So that is an interesting take. But if there's an auto compounder where the BGT is, if the IBGT or BGT, whatever, is auto delegated and the bribes are used to re-LP, I'm not sure if a product like that exists. I think it does for IBGT, but not for BGT. It should do fine. But I think the logic behind it is early on in the Lido days, like Lido had to spend a lot of money to maintain the peg before the ETH unstaking or like withdrawals went live. So even Lido was like trading around 93 cents to the dollar for a while.
Yeah, that was I remember that. That was actually one scary day where I think STETH like quote unquote depegged quite badly actually. I think it went to like 90 cents on the dollar, or like 88 cents or 0.88 per ETH, something like that. I remember that did happen. And then yeah, once withdrawals come, everything kind of goes back to normal. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Rodman, do you have any favorites of yours with any of the other smaller maybe Kodiak vaults?
Yeah, I think the infrared ones are great. Obviously I like the BM one, given that's the first Panda token.
Let's have a look at that one. BM wrapped bearer 1% pool. What are they offering here?
I think it's like up to 10% of the token supply, so that's pretty juicy.
Let's see, where is it? Okay.
I think yeah, I think on top of that, like Berachain would be great, given like how far they've gotten and whatnot, and all of the TVL they've attracted. I'd rather see, like, I think my opinion is I'd rather see like this go to like a lot of the native builders that have been around for a while, rather than maybe like less useful pools.
What define less useful?
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I think something else is like the Ramen had two proposals. There was G Ramen staking, and there was also G Ramen wrap Bera on like island on Kodiak. I think this is a good way for like a good combination to ensure like you take a lot of the supply out by enabling staking and rewarding people for staking, but also having the liquidity pool to grow it.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to offer 70,000 bearer over 24 weeks. They've written minimum of 24 weeks. That's clever of them, isn't it? 24 times by 70,000. Oh, no. 70,000 divided by 24. Okay, 3,000 bearer a week. That's actually a fair amount, considering kind of the size of the pool, I guess. $20,000 a week. Not bad. That's for G Ramen, and I'm guessing that similar kind of thing for the other pool as well. Okay, cool.
I guess I have one more comment there. I think it is also like pretty important.
I think we lost.
Very, very important.
He I think he meant to say nice haircut.
New users, as well as just like general activity is it's like it's primarily like the POL farming, right? Whether that's even just stable pairs or volatile pairs. That's like what 90% of people are doing right now. And I think it's like what is making Berachain much more attractive than other networks is the fact that like you can get such high yield on like somewhat volatile pairs as well as like stable pairs, right? And that comes in the form of like just straight BGT as well as like the BGT rewards that you get from staking in the form of like honey from Bex. And I think like you do need to like maintain focus on like those pairs, right? To like to keep the flywheel going, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Nomad, back to you. Like, anything specifically that you're looking to farm? Will it be more like stablecoin stuff, or maybe some of the volatile stuff? I know we talked about IBGT a lot, but anything else on your radar?
No, honestly, usually anything that I'm LPing is gonna be major stuff. I like Kevin's IBGT trade, so I'll be focusing on big assets. Something I like is how Ramming is doing it, that they're like the G Ramming staking. It's cool that they incentivize just staking and not necessarily an LP, because that's something I'm sure we'll see a lot more in the future. There's
Yeah.
many uses to POL than just LPs.
What do you guys think is the efficiency in the beginning?
So I guess like what you could probably do is basically go through every single one of these reward vaults, figure out like the exact amount of bearer per week, and then add that up, and then kind of get a good idea. It seems like Jack must have done that because in his tweet he mentioned a 6-to-1 ratio. I feel like that is a little bit high, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I
Six
think
to
it's
Yeah.
more. I think 10 cents on the dollar for incentives. Because if Bera keeps, like, if Bera goes up, the incentive amount is, in most cases, going to be kind of stable. Like, it won't grow at the same pace as Bera. So if we see Bera at 9, then you're going to have a crazy amount of BGT dollar value being sent. So you end up paying less in bribes for more BGT. So it's going to fluctuate.
The question is, does this end up causing as a net a lot of general sell pressure on Bera? And so is the premium going to compress because not because the bribes are increasing, but because the value of Bera goes down?
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple things going on, right? Because if people see the yields, like crazy yields, they might be interested in Berachain, so there's new money flowing in. But then they are paying so much in BGT that it's eventually going to end up burnt and being sold as Bera. So, yeah, I don't know which effect is going to be more powerful, but probably going to get a lot
even the
of
RFAs,
new
right?
eyes.
There's a lot of dollar value from the RFAs as well. I mean, let's see. What do you think, Kevin?
No general opinion on this one.
Okay.
He's been so careful today.
I know. He's being very, very careful. He's up to something in the background. I know. Rudman and Bertic, like, what are your thoughts in terms of like how much of these incentives will end up being used to like bring people into the ecosystem, which I'm sure it will do, but also the balance of selling that bearer and the sell pressure that these rewards will come with?
Yeah, I think the nice thing is right now the bribes are still like, I think someone added it up roughly. It's like half a mil a week right now. This is a decent amount of bribes considering that not many projects have tokens live yet. So I think bribes should increase also as bearer price increases, more people launch tokens, and then those tokens pump, and then people initially start bribing with their token. I think it's more sustainable to bribe with revenue in the future, because then you also want to bring utility to your own token. Like there needs to be a reason instead of it just being a purely an incentive token.
But the question is, can protocols earn enough revenue that matches the kind of or gets close to kind of the inflation that we're seeing? That, I mean, it's a lot right now. It's $300 million a year.
Yeah, that's why I think if it's any chain, maybe it's Berachain that does it, because we have managed to bring like 300 plus builders, and many of them are like starting to go live, and a lot of them that are live don't have tokens yet. But yeah, I also think weren't there some deflationary mechanisms that kind of support POL in the case of like lower revenue, or I guess as bribes decrease?
Yeah, no, I think we've got the chain or the ecosystem on this chain to potentially do that. I think all it takes is a few big apps, and yeah, who knows? I think we'll definitely see some surprises. I agree
Yeah.
with you there. I agree with you there.
Then what do you think is the healthy ratio that like it should kind of compress to?
I think if we reach something like a 50%, like 50 cents for $1 worth of BGT, that's decent enough. That's at the current price, that's something like I think 200 million worth of bribes every year, which would actually be crazy. A lot of projects use their own tokens to incentivize LPs and different things. So just routing that through POL gives them, in this case, 2 times the return. So it's way better for them to do it that way. So instead of just incentivizing with Kodiak, let's say, for your LPs, you run it through POL, and it's a much better result. So yeah, I think 50% premium is a good enough thing. So it's still attractive to bribe, but it's also, so yeah, it's still attractive.
I reckon it'll end up like that, and I think probably what we'll see is some of the big boys end up coming to Berachain, whether it's I think we already know, like MakerDAO or Sky, maybe Aave or Pendle or Uniswap or some of these other big boys come, and they will be able to bribe with a lot of incentives, and maybe they take the majority of it. That's what I think at the moment. It seems fairly early for some of these big boys to kind of come over just yet, but I think eventually they will, and maybe they'll take a large portion of it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility because they're the only ones with an existing treasury that can bribe like that. So yeah, if they see the chain is stable, protocols are doing well, and they can get a huge discount on their incentives, then they will probably come set up their LPs and just use Berachain as help for them.
I mean, I've seen on Curve. I remember the last time we looked at it, the premium was even less than that. What you just mentioned, Nomad. So like, I think it's like a maybe 40% premium that people are getting. Like for every $1 of incentives that a protocol pays out, they're getting $1.40 back. So if protocols are willing to pay for that on somewhere like Curve, I imagine they'll definitely be quick to come to Berachain as well. And this includes like all of these LSTs and LRTs and stable coins and then the big DeFi protocols. I think we end up seeing a lot. And I think also on Berachain right now, we have a lot of these asset issuers. Some of them have launched tokens and they're worth hundreds of millions. And so I don't see why they wouldn't even allocate like 1% of their supply to like bribing and attracting a lot of liquidity. I don't know, but I can see that happening for sure. Yeah, let's see. In terms of so I think we kind of spoke a little bit about what we're going to do in terms of maybe with your Bera or maybe with your BGT, maybe with your stablecoins as well. Are you planning to do anything with your BTC and ETH? And we talked about the BTC, ETH, and Bera pools on Kodiak. But I also just noticed that there are some correlated asset pairs as well. I wonder kind of how good these are as well. Did I see one from Solve? I don't know if this one on Kodiak. Let me pull it up. How valuable do you think these kind of pairs are, like a Solve BTC wrapped BTC on Kodiak?
I mean, I would just go look at their volume, but yeah, I mean, they're useful.
Let's see what the incentives are. I wonder if Solve are offering their own token. 5K each week. Not really a lot in the grand scheme of things for a protocol with a 300 million plus FTV, but okay, fine. Is there an ETH correlated pair?
I think there's quite a few, right? There's Bera
I think
ETH.
Dinero has one.
There's a Stakestone one as well, I think.
So there's Bera ETH on Kodiak as well. Funky from Dinero did this one. Let's have a look. What are they offering?
I think that one has high incentives in Dinero.
3 million Dinero over 12 weeks. Anyone able to figure out what this actually is in dollars?
Let me check.
I'm not sure how much it is.
66K. So yeah, not much. Over
66
12 weeks, you said?
Yeah. Not much.
Yeah, so
but
5.5K per week. I mean, I guess it's kind of in the same level as others, right?
yeah, true.
Yeah, and I guess the cost of capital here is much lower. So, like if you're
'cause
holding
pairing,
ETH, yeah,
true.
Okay.
and
interesting.
you're also earning a staking yield on Berachain.
Yes, which I think is about 4% at the moment. So yeah, 4%. Maybe add, I don't know, another 5% or so. Maybe you get double-digit yields with no IL risk. So I know Kevin, you'll like this one. You don't like impermanent loss at all, do you?
Not liking impermanent loss saved my ass when depositing into Boyko, to be fair. So
Yeah, fair enough. I guess
For now,
I guess
He likes
holding
permanent.
ETH itself has been a tough one anyway. So maybe we have better alternatives.
He likes permanent loss.
We've got some questions here from people, so let's have a look. Let me just pull up some of the comments. So Magic Gemma says Berachain liquidity is going to become Kodiak liquidity. Interesting. We have
SJ has a cool question.
Okay. SJ says thoughts on tax token playing the POL game with fat POL and replenish bribe ammo, which doesn't dilute holders. Nomad, what do you think about this?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the coolest uses of POL. Like, I think he's referring to plug. I don't know, but like this mechanism, usually with some coins, you have a tax for sales, right? So what you usually do is burn that, and then it's out of the supply. But then the usefulness of that token ends there. Instead, with POL, you can, instead of burning that, use it as bribes, where you're gonna get a multiplier on the value of the token, sent as BGT to your holders. So you're giving like extending the usefulness of the token's life cycle and multiplying the amount of incentives you can give to your users. So it's actually a pretty cool thing. Instead of burning a token, just plugging it into POL, even though the supply doesn't kind of reduce, you're still getting a better performance out of the thing. So I think that's something a lot of tokens should explore, because we have these burn systems in different chains, but with POL it can change significantly.
Have we got any assets like that right now that have a proposal up?
Not sure if Plug has said anything about this, but I think Berasearch at one point published something about the possibility of doing something like that. So I think Plug is going to do it. I'm pretty sure there is a proposal for Plug here.
Yeah, I can see there's a proposal. It's just a Plug Bera reward vault on Beradrome, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see something like that, kind of these single-sided. Oh, SJ says they have. Maybe it is that one then. Hold on, let's have a look.
Yeah, it is that one probably.
Let's pull it up.
Yeah, okay, it's this.
Let's see what the incentives are. Whoops, I've gone past it. Where is it? I don't think they've actually written what the incentive is, or maybe it's in here.
Let me check. I'll read it as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to spot it. No, it's not on here, I don't think. Okay, I don't think they've actually put it on here, but never mind.
You should look at the RUSD honey for stablecoin pool.
Ah, yeah. Okay, let's have a look at that. So reservoir. They've got a really nice vault on Goldilocks right now. I think that the LP is a little bit imbalanced, but I think that's quite cool. I think it's 21%, like real yield as well, fixed yield, without any RFA or without any BGT as well. So this pool is RUSD Honey, RUSD being the stable coin from Reservoir. And this is 28,000 Bera over 6 months, which I'll do some quick maths here. Over 6 months, $168,000. It's okay. It's decent. $7,000 a week. It's higher than Solve and Dinero. Maybe this could be something that's interesting if maybe a lot of people don't stake their LP tokens.
Yeah, the interesting thing is like this was a Royco pool or a Boyco pool, so a lot of people have already deposited. So it would be purely net new depositors, so maybe not as much until at least until the Boyco vaults unlock.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but right now, currently, the people who have locked in Boyco, they can't stake their LP tokens, correct?
No.
So I think
no, except for the handful that were already integrated with Infrared, which is the Bera ETH WEF pool. I think is one of them.
Okay.
And then there's the Stakestone pools, and then the Bitcoin Honey or WEF Honey, Bitcoin WEF, but those don't have reward vault proposals.
Okay, cool. So I think actually there probably will be some opportunity to be early and make some pretty good yields from some of the Boyco vaults, like maybe something like this, where perhaps there might not be a lot of people who pick up on the opportunity here. I don't know. I think that's pretty interesting. There's another stable pair which I think is Nect. So there's Nect and Honey. Nect Honey USDC. This is on Bear, I believe. I don't know what they're offering as well. I wish they made it a little bit easier.
Yeah,
to kind of read. I can't read it quickly.
Just command F allocate. Just click on the top right to command F without commanding F to. Yeah.
So this is D8X, which I believe is a derivative platform. So 20K bearer over 9 months for this one. Not really a lot, but I don't know, maybe if there's low TVL, it could be good. Oh, here you go. Here's another one. USDA, SUSDA. 25,000 USDC for 52 weeks. Like, not really a lot here as well. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, Avalon Labs, that's a fucking joke. Like that's shit. I'm just gonna straight out and say it. That's just shit.
Yeah,
unless you're the only depositor.
Yeah, that's true, but yeah, that's tragic. That's
25,000 over 52 weeks. Yeah, that is very
Do
low.
you think the market will be efficient and like people will only deposit up to the amount that's guarantees like the standard stablecoin rate right now, which is like, let's say like 15%?
Oh, Waz just said he's taking a phone call, so I guess I'll take over as host. Will it go up to No, I don't. I think that there's going to be market inefficiencies. I think that people are going to get a little too excited. It's like seeing a hot girl and then get a bit too excited. So I think it will go over the top as to that. Especially for those that have been waiting for POL for such a long time. Whenever they see that these fat yields come in, there's going to be. It's like buying the IBGT dip, right? The smart thing to do would be to fucking like DCA in like $500 every 1 hour. But instead, we've got fucking guys like fucking buying 100K clips with like fucking like 10% price impact, right? So, people can get excited sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think MBGT should be worth more than IBGT?
It's a good question.
I think so, because I think with BGT you get the customization, or like you get the ability to choose a specific validator to boost to, and maybe, I mean, I'm sure infrared validators will be great, right? But maybe I want to boost with the Kodiak validator. You know, maybe Kodiak are going to offer me a token that I really want that infrared aren't, and I think having that ability to choose is worth a little bit more. I don't know how much more, but it is worth a little bit more. And you can probably see that the market is valuing it a little bit more if you look at like BGT market, where the premiums are consistently higher than that of like IBGT or STBGT or any of the others. But yeah, that's my take. Nomad, what do you think? I'm sure I know Nomad, you've got a lot to talk about on this topic.
I don't know. Like right now, we still don't know exactly how everything will work. I think some premiums will be a bit exaggerated when POL turns on initially. For example, people chasing the IBGT vaults and stuff like that. But long term, it should adjust. For BGTM, I do like the flexibility, but the main thing for me right now with that is that the BGT lot sizes are too small. Like even for me, if I wanted to sell my BGT, it would take me ages on BGTM because I can only sell 100 at a time and I have to wait for the full lot to finish. So yeah, I think with bigger lot sizes and more flexibility in how the auctions are conducted, it's going to be more useful and could get more premiums. But right now, I guess it's still in testing, right? Like you need to see how the market behaves. But yeah.
Yeah, but Nomad, what you could do is you could just fill all of the lots yourself and just like fill like, I don't know how much BGT you have, but if you have like 20 lots full, you could just fill them all up at the same time.
Yeah, but I'm one person, right? There's a lot of people, so it is a bit slow.
Yeah, I guess so. I
I think
guess so.
there's probably some better efficient liquidation mechanisms for setting off BGT. Like I think
I'm sure BGT market can create an OTC market that can facilitate. Like Nomad can, as a wallet, can come up and be like, look, I've got 5,000 BGT that I want to sell, and maybe there are some buyers that can just pick it up through the smart contract that BGT market offer.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a quick fix from BGT market, right? Just increase the lot size a bit, and then problem fixed. So yeah, a bunch of things that they can add to make it even more useful.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Of all of the liquid wrappers, IBGT, that your favorite?
I'm doing my own, so mine is my favorite.
Tell us about your own.
Maybe next week. But yeah, it's going to be a bit different. It has some custom stuff that's going to make it more interesting. Like I love POL, so we've gotten very deep into what we can play around with. So it's going to kind of take everything into account.
Nomad, I can't wait till next week. Tell us something this week, please. Please.
It's kind of a combination of all.
I gotta run, guys. So thanks for having me on.
See you, Kevin.
Have fun.
Okay, I guess we'll have to do another stream next week as well, then, won't we?
I think IBGT is the best given the liquidity.
Yeah. But the liquidity is not that good right now. I don't know why Infrared are taking a bit of time to fill up the pool a little bit, or maybe it's down to us. Maybe it's down to the people to LP some.
I mean, it's gonna get filled with POL as soon as it has BGT flowing into it. It's gonna get full, and
even
premium is
without,
gonna be way more stable.
True. But even without POL right now, the yields for providing liquidity for IBGT are so good. I've been earning like triple-digit APRs, like much higher than IBGT staking, just from my concentrated LPs that I'm doing right now with IBGT. It's very lucrative. I don't know why it hasn't been arbed a little bit by now.
Why are you doing that over just staking? Like, or how much more how much more yield do you need to LP versus staking IBGT? I guess that's the question I had. Like right now, it's really high to LP because there's not that much liquidity, and there's a lot of people wanting to buy and sell based on Kevin's tweets. But the thing is, like over time, like do you think it's really hard to sustainably incentivize the liquidity pool when the if bribes continue to increase and the IBGT staking increases?
Yeah, it's a good question. For now, right now, I've noticed that the yields for people who are concentrating their LP, and you don't really have to concentrate it that much. You can concentrate, like IBGT has been trading in like a fairly reasonable range. I think it's like 300% or 400% or 500% at times.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's been insane.
Yeah.
So like that's been super attractive, but I'm surprised that not many have closed that down a little bit. The volume per day is like multitudes more than the liquidity available right now. So yeah, I'm
I guess
surprised.
it's because it's a bit more effort, right? With IBGT staking, you just put it there and you're earning the rewards.
Maybe.
You probably have to manage it a bit more, or you're going to be swapped into something else. So, yeah, maybe some people are not as comfortable with a concentrated liquidity position, especially if they're managing themselves.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think I agree with both of you. Like once next week or whenever this gets turned on for IBGT POL wise, I'm sure the liquidity is going to be a little bit thicker. Do you think the price of IBGT remains where it is right now at like 1.2, or is it super undervalued, or is it fair value, maybe even a little bit overvalued? What do you guys think?
I think the premium's okay right now. Like if it was long term into Vera, this is a good premium. But I'm pretty sure people are gonna get overly excited at the BGT yields from IBGT, and they're just gonna market buy. And without liquidity there, they're gonna pump the price for sure.
Yeah, but Nomad, the IBGT staking yield is pretty good already. I mean, it's been 100% like single-sided staking for the last 2-3 weeks. Yeah, it didn't really cause people to bid that much. So the question is, how high does the APR have to be to really attract people? If 100%, or I think right now is 80%, isn't attractive enough.
The thing is, it's gonna be more. Right now, there's around $1 million worth of incentives every day. Split between 900 million in Berachain. So since no one's gonna bribe for those pools, everything is gonna go out, right? Infrared has so much BGT and they produce so many of the blocks that they themselves they can simply point BGT emissions to their assets, or they will be one of the top bribers. So imagine all of that BGT that's being sent to Berachain now diluted into small pools. I think the market cap of IBGT is around 20 million. If you pair it with Bera, you have a max dilution of 40 million in that vault. So put a bunch of incentives there. Not everyone's going to be staking. So yeah, it's probably going to get crazy APRs. And the same for many other assets.
How do we know that infrared validators are going to give out everything that they get back to IBGT?
So it's not even that. It's for the reward vault, like putting IBGT into the reward vault, the Bera IBGT. Mm-hmm. So that's one part. And then, yeah, also you're not going to get as diluted because some people are going to be staking their IBGT. So you have two methods of rewards, whatever you're more comfortable with. But I think it's going to go crazy and people will buy it just for the yield.
Do you think it'll be higher than 150%?
Yeah, way higher.
Way higher. Damn. Okay. It should open up some pretty nice like neutral strategies that you could do. Like you could just like farm at 150, 200% and then just like short Bera elsewhere and kind of be delta neutral. That would be quite nice anyway. I think nice stablecoin or pseudo stable strategies. Berachain, what do you think about IBGT as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I think the current premium is like something that can be sustained over long term. And I do agree that with Nomad, like initially people will just buy, but yeah, it really comes down to, like when Nomad brought up like infrared, I think infrared controls like 40 to 50% of the block block proposing power right now.
Yeah.
And then like I think the interesting part is in times where like each epoch is like a week, right? For reward vaults.
Yeah.
There might be weeks where like teams there might be weeks that are just like a little bit more dead than the other weeks. Like let's say the first 2 weeks are like crazy because everyone is like pouring incentives trying to like be the first ones to get the emissions, but like maybe they run out of like bribing power. And then like other protocols are still building and waiting to launch their own reward vaults. In cases like that where there's not enough bribes, well, like bribes request BGT per bribe, right? So if all of that is filled and an infrared still has a ton of BGT or like BGT to direct, they don't have to, and there's no bribes to accept, then I think what they might do is direct it towards their two pools. So I think in those cases it becomes very lucrative, and like when there are no bribe opportunities, they can direct it towards their own pools.
Yeah, no, I see that happening as well. It will be good fun. It'll be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, personally, what I'm looking to do is, I think I'm going to try and find some of the stablecoin strategies that maybe people aren't really looking at so much. Maybe something like Ohm as well, just because of how big the bribes are as well. Maybe the yields there are going to be really, really good. And then I think on the Bera side, I think definitely with IBGT, that's kind of how I'm going to play it. But
yep. And Ohm Honey is like a pseudo stable pool, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's even with the potential IL that might like not as crazy high, but probably outcompetes a lot of the stable yield on Berachain.
Yeah, I mean, I think the IL actually for something like Ohm Honey is practically nothing. I mean, if
I actually think you can ignore it in all of these.
Yeah,
pools.
you can ignore it.
The incentives are so high that I haven't even taken it into account.
So I mean, if the price of Ohm went up to like $30, it's 1%. If it goes down to $10, it's 7%. I personally don't think it's going to go down to the floor value. I think this is below the floor value. Actually, I think it's the floor value is at 12. So something crazy would have to happen for this, and yeah, so that's only 4%. It's not that much in the grand scheme of things. When you've got a potential pool earning like 20, 30, 40, 50% APY, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Stride? They're like a infrared competitor. I've seen.
Yeah.
I've heard. Like I haven't looked. Like I haven't really done too much with it, but I've besides talking to the team because they do have a Kodiak pool now, and they've also submitted a reward vault. But I've heard a lot of people like kind of doing arbitrage between IBGT and STBGT.
Yeah, I've noticed STBGT is consistently cheaper than IBGT by like a 10% difference or something. So yeah, I've been watching that very, very closely. I think right now as well, as far as I'm aware, let me open up Stride. Let's see. They have a.
They submitted a proposal as well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they have a 250% APR for the STBGT wrapped Bera, and you get some points. So we'll see about that. But even staking wise, the APR is a little bit higher than infrared. And I think the other thing is you can actually redeem it for Bera. So there is a redemption mechanism here, whereas with infrared there isn't. And so I've seen STBGT almost go to 1-to-1 with Bera. And so that's pretty nice. Like I saw it even today, only a 6% premium or 8% premium, whereas infrared is obviously like 20% premium. So you can make that 6% back very, very quickly, given how high you're earning. You're earning at like 107%. So you can make 6%, in less than a month. Or around a month, yeah, less than that actually, like 20 days, and you'll make it back. So yeah, I think maybe people are sleeping on it a little bit. I don't know, but yeah, I've been watching it closely. Let's have a look at the reward vault that they have.
Yeah, so they're already doing this 200K USDC incentive program.
Oh yeah.
So whoever uses and stakes STBGT earns from that. But I think now they're kind of reusing that and routing it through Vault for the next portion of their incentive thing. Because I think it was going to be something around 70 days. So it's actually pretty big since they also have low TVL compared to others. There's very good rewards there for now.
So so they are gonna do 50% of LP fees redirected as incentives, plus 50,000 USDC over 10 months, plus 200,000 USDC, which is what you just referred to, over 45 days. That, yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and the 50% is like something that we're offering all our partners until our token goes live, as a way to help co-bribe and also make sure that any new pools or any liquidity is on Kodiak.
So, Beratic, when is your token going live?
Yesterday.
Is there a Beratic token on mainnet, by the way?
I hope not. And it's just an NFT collection.
Okay,
want to give us a demo of Panda right now?
Yeah, we can change that very quickly. Okay, fine. So yeah, Kodiak token this month, maybe next month. What are we thinking? Can you share anything?
We'll share soon. Just don't want to like say anything and be
You're gonna get in trouble. Yeah, I'm trying to get you in trouble, Beratic.
Yeah. When is the IVX token? When's the Vase token? When's Booga Bears?
So first, I need Kodiak to launch, and then I can talk about Vase.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. First, I need IVX to launch.
I know. Yeah.
And then we're all dependent on Kevin.
Yeah, we need Ooga Booga token to launch as well. We're like the Spider-Man meme, like pointing at each other. Okay, fine. I noticed that we've gone over an hour now, so I'll just let everyone who's watching right now. I think there's 1,300 people that are tuning in or tuned in, so pretty cool. Anyone who's watching, this is your chance to ask us some questions before we wrap things up. So go and type your questions in the chat box right now. To both of you, Nomad and Berachain, any like last things that we wanted to touch upon? Any maybe reward vaults or maybe anything even Berachain related, even non-Berachain related? Anything you wanted to touch upon?
I just need Puffpaw to go live. I've been smoking too many pods and not earning anything.
Oh, you opened it before the game started?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Has it helped you to cut down your nicotine?
No, you get two. You get one with.
Yeah, of course, there's a nicotine one.
Yeah.
No.
You get the 0% pods, for the Puffpaw, and then you get a regular one, and then you do both at the same
time. Are you allowed to smoke two at the same time? Do you like double your earning potential?
No, another one, another brand.
Another brand. Nomad, I know you've got like a few in your pocket all the time as well, haven't you?
Yeah, man.
Fine. All right. It looks like there isn't any other questions other than the Pith team Kako saying Ooga Booga. How's it going? Oh, there's one question actually. Curious if anyone is familiar with Berachain and their leverage strategies. I am not, because as far as I'm aware, they still had some audits to do. So yeah, I think we have to. I was just waiting for that. I haven't actually looked into it. You guys, you guys able to answer this question?
No, I'm not very familiar.
Yeah.
I am, but I have, unfortunately, it's been a while.
Yeah, I think last time I checked, they had some audits to do. So I in general, when it comes, I mean, this is just my personal experience, like not financial advice or anything like that. But I generally don't like to touch money markets that don't have audits, or or have audits that aren't live yet. So yeah, it does. Maybe it looks promising, but I'll just wait.
Yeah, actually, one thing, there is a new project that was incubated by Kodiak. The first vaults went, like, the first deposits went live today. It's called Baker DAO, incubated by Kodiak and Yeet. It's like a new Ponzi. This, like, I think the team launched their, like, senior vaults, like the first deposits. Basically, bread is like a derivative of Bera. It's up only tech relative to Bera. I think you can read the docs on for like more details. I'm not smart enough to understand it, but I think what was crazy was, like, obviously markets are kind of like dead right now, but the vault, it accepted like 269,000 Bera and it got filled in 70 seconds, which was like quite impressive just given the current market conditions. And it's like $1.6 million. And I think tomorrow they're going live with like the junior vault, which is like the second cohort of people that can deposit Bera.
Nice.
Man, I never expected that thing to fill up so quickly. I wasn't there at launch, and then I saw it filled in 2 minutes, so I completely missed it. And I have to go to the junior vaults tomorrow.
Like, even myself, I was going to be like, oh, it's like 24 hours. Like, things are a bit quiet. Let me wait a few hours and then deposit. And then, like, literally, like 70 seconds or like 2 minutes, like, yeah, a minute or 2 minutes in, it gets filled. And I'm just like sidelined, unfortunately.
Yeah, I missed it as well. Today I was in a call at the time. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a battle tomorrow to get in. It'll be good fun. What's how does Kodiak benefit from this, by the way?
Yeah, the liquidity pools are on Kodiak, so it's like there's going to be a bread liquidity pool, and there's going to be a lot of volume, just arbitrage volume, just people buying bread or selling bread into the pool. And there's, yeah, like, we benefit from here's I think the ecosystem benefits because this is a new sink for Bera, and brings new utility, because I think you can, like, when you mint bread, you pay a fee, and then like a portion of the fee goes back to like increasing the backing of each bread token, and then the rest, yeah, like the rest goes to like LP, or like, yeah, like I need to look into it, but the users can also borrow Bera against their bread, and I think it's up to like 100x leverage. So and this isn't like, it's liquidated based on like time. So like when you like create a when you create a loan, you designate how much you want, how much leverage, or like how much you want to borrow, as well as the duration. And if you don't pay it in time, then you get liquidated, because it's like a derivative of Bera. There's no liquidation in terms of like price. So like right now, if there's 1.6 million, like this could mean that there's 160 million of bread that can be like I guess minted just off of the leverage.
Yeah, I think seems like it's based off caller loans from Olympus or some derivative of that, because that's kind of, as far as I'm aware, that's how Ohm work as well, which is, yeah, pretty cool. It might be cheaper to leverage this way than maybe some other ways in due time. So yeah, that's quite cool. I look forward to playing around with it.
And I
is
think
it POL around it? How's POL going to work with bread?
I think they're gonna whitelist a bread, like the bread liquidity or island on Kodiak, and then use a portion of the fees as bribes, as well as Olympus, because it's paired against Ohm. Olympus is also co-bribing, and so it should be a pretty juicy pull as well.
Oh yeah, that will be.
Yeah, Ohm is saving.
Yeah, I mean, Ohm are bribing with such an incredible amount of capital. So yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting. Looking forward to that one. Cool. That's launching tomorrow, 2 p.m. UTC. So yeah, be there, and good luck if you're able to get in. I'm assuming it's going to be just as fast as today, if not faster.
It's gonna be worse.
Yeah, let's see. We might need to Nomad. We might need to make a bot to actually be able to mint this ourselves. You know.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's it. There's one last question we can quickly address this. There's two questions, right? One of them: who's launching an ohm fork on Bera? We have ohm already. Do we need an ohm fork? Every chain needs an ohm fork, I guess, doesn't it? Beristol.
Well, I guess Aristotle will make it, and then we also need a banana miner. We need a
Maybe. Okay, one final question that we have. What makes concentrated liquidity on Berachain a better risk reward than on Uniswap? Beratic, I think you're qualified to answer this one.
Yeah, so in terms of like the actual like creating concentrated liquidity positions and like the like purely like the like providing liquidity side, it's similar. Like you provide, let's say it's like WEF, WBTC WEF, you set a certain range, and you also set this set a certain range on Uniswap on mainnet, and same on Berachain. Like you get the same capital efficiency. There's no real difference. I guess it depends on the volume on each chain, but the benefit is POL, where you like Uniswap, like there are no emissions. People like purely LPing for the trading fees, and most people actually lose money LPing just because they're not sophisticated enough. But on Berachain with POL, now the chain is incentivizing liquidity and kind of focusing on liquidity that's active. So like if Kodiak directs X percentage of trading fees as well as like other forms of bribes to validators, you're getting a multiplier on the incentive. So you're going from a chain, you're going from Uniswap on mainnet that has zero liquidity incentives, purely trading fees, to on Berachain, you get liquidity incentives and you also earn trading fees.
Yep, I think you answered that perfectly. Oops.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Beratic. Thank you, Nomad. It's been nice to have you on the stream again. We'll do it again sometime soon. Thank you to the 1,000 plus people who tuned in as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some alpha. We'll be back again sometime soon. We'll do it again sometime. Enjoy POL when it comes out next week. There'll be lots of interesting stuff, and I'm sure the three of us plus Kevin will all have lots of things to share when we find out a little bit more. So yeah, I think with that